What is going on, guys? Welcome back. Commentary for you. One of my sponsors, Steel Supplements. Link and discount code down the description. You also know, talk about it all the time. You guys order it all the time. I Glance LED. Listen, great Father's Day gift. All you need to do is buy it, plug it in, connect it to your internet, tell it what you want to see. Live updates, real time, NFL, NBA, NHL, NASCAR, UFC, you name it, it's going to do it. It's going to change the way you watch TV, movies, video games, all at a glance. Now, you can skip to 220 if you don't want to hear a little bit about my life, get into the breakdown. But a lot of you reached out to me and said, Ryan, you're such a sellout, most negative person in the world, all Maximum Football. Guess you didn't have anything to say. Well, Monday was a pretty difficult day for me, but it was a very rewarding day. I want you to understand, if you have a job right now and you're exchanging your hours of your life for an hourly wage, it is the utmost importance that that time be respected. And the company that I work for was not respecting my time. And I had soft drink, I had uche, I had my family, my friends, everyone in my life at some point has told me, like, Ryan, you need to move away from this. Got to the point it was impacting my health, my sleep, all because I wouldn't walk away. If you're working for someone right now and they don't respect you, they don't value you, and you know inside what your worth is, do not wait. It is not going to get better. It is not going to get better. I let so much of my life be wasted because I refuse to bet on myself and believe in myself. And I will regret it probably till my dying day that I took so long to just make the commitment to leave and stay at one of the most toxic workplaces ever. And I beg you, if you take anything from any video I ever made, if you're in that situation, believe in yourself and move on, because it's never going to get better. Try to be professional here. I said 220, 3, 2. So we're going to talk about Maximum Football, the good, the bad. All right. I know this game probably better than most people on the internet because, well, I work through David Winter. Really haven't had a lot of communication with the new developers, but I know a lot of things about this game, the programming logic. I've seen the code run. These are the plays that really frustrate me, really irritate me as a gamer because, listen, when you watch this happen, this interaction right here, okay, this looks like a very subtle motion shift, and it is, okay? But the problem with this is very simple. This negates a lot of positives. Also want to talk about the pursuit angle here because we're going to kind of mention that. I don't know why the user would pull back right here. I mean, the safety from an AI perspective took a great angle. You negate that looking good when you do this. But I just want to point out the opposite angle here. What we need to pay attention is the gap assignment and the way the AI reads almost like a human. As soon as this play bounces to the outside, I want you to understand the logic of this game was so true that he went to the outside. And that shift negated it. And it shouldn't have, because that should have been a stop or at least a slowdown of the running back. And that troubles me when there's good coding there that's negated by bad coding. Going to take a look at this play too. And if you played Maximum Football for any length of time, you know this was a major issue. And clearly they haven't addressed it or fixed it. Now, they did spend a lot of time talking about this kickoff animation, which, you know, I mean, it's a good-looking kicking animation. To me, it looks like the follow-through of a field goal kick, the way the kicker's just kind of staring off into the distance, but I digress. The ball going through the legs of the kick returner, and this happened a lot. You weren't lined up in the exact right space. I didn't even see him move, but nevertheless, all of the gunners kind of being on the outside, or because, in my opinion, didn't follow the play art here. All the blockers kind of turned around in unison, which is never good to see. But, you know, again, when you run away from the play art, what you expect in these situations. However, I digress. We're going to move on to this play here and talk about kind of the similar good thing versus bad thing dilemma that we see with this game, okay? So one of the first things that we'll talk about in this play, I guess we cannot refer to these linemen as Clint when they're actually making positive decisions, but I just want you to take a look at the play art here as we zoom back. And I want you to understand the logic in which these linemen react and the way they go off and they work as a team to actually pick up the late blitz. That is absolutely beautiful. Like, that's what you want to see as far as a line picking up a blitzer. Now, it's very difficult to read because everything happens so fast. You throw into traffic, and again, the speed of the game, kind of the rapidness of the animation. This defender wasn't even defending this player. He kind of makes this lunge and you really can't tell what goes on in that cluster. I'd like to see a lot of those animations kind of slowed down, would probably be easier to confidently say what's going on in a play. And then as we look at this, if you've played Maximum Football, you can go back. I believe in 2016, so this is 8 years, I did the first ever live stream with this game. And this play was kind of found by me on a live stream. I'm sure David was aware it was there too, obviously, he programmed the game. But this play is just as broken in 2016 as it is 2024, and it's a guaranteed touchdown. And it's a guaranteed touchdown because of what happens with this corner. Okay, for some reason, this corner runs way too deep to the line. Then he gets lost because he's turned to the other direction for no reason. The game has good enough logic because this safety, if you watch him, he's going to follow that receiver all the way across the field. So you've got bad logic in front, good logic in back, but it doesn't matter because you've turned the corner on all of these players. And this play was literally like a guarantee, a money play, if you will, every single time because the way that defensive back crashed down and then pulled back, I don't know how they haven't had time to see, address, and fix these things. You know, these are game-breaking bugs, game-breaking glitches because anytime online, offline really didn't matter, you could load these up and depend on a touchdown. And the dance becomes irrelevant because you never fixed a problem that's been in the game for 8 years. Now, looks really good here. I mean, this is probably, in all sincerity, the best tackle I've seen since Backbreaker. I mean, yeah, you've got some clipping and warping, but when you slow this down, okay, he tries to shrug off the high tackle, and then there's no shrugging off the kind of low mid tackle. Beautiful drive through. I mean, that looks realistic to me. If we could get that in every football game, we would all be sold. Even though, again, this game is going to be free, so it's not like we're really sold on anything, but it doesn't mean that they can't provide us the best quality product possible. We're going to move forward, and again, we're going to talk about good, we're going to talk about bad. So maybe, depending on how you look at it, we're going to talk about bad and bad, but I digress. We're going to work through this because, again, this is logic that's been broken for a while. First of all, David Winter did an incredible job programming the halfback blocking, but I've told him, and I'll tell the new team, you can't have your halfback running in circles around your quarterback because it puts him in a very odd space right here where he's cutting across the throwing lane. Shouldn't happen. He should be back. Now let's talk about what happens here. This corner is reacting to that receiver for no reason. You saw there kind of cleared across for two defenders, and then this ball does not get tipped. You know, okay, that's a positive, but then you've caught it in triple coverage, standing still, probably, again, shouldn't happen. And it's all because if you know how to read the keys in this game when it comes to defensive breakdowns and you see those two linemen standing still, you know where the other defensive back is going to read, and you end up knowing just by process of elimination where to throw the ball. Okay, all of these plays, if you honestly sat and played this game, there were little visual cues that you could take, little context that you could take from defensive reactions to know where to throw the ball to exploit it. And the reactions were always the same. And what frustrated me then, and what frustrates me now, is the game has very good AI. It has very sound logic. You know, you can sit there and talk about the graphics, you can talk about how jittery it looks, all those things. You know, if you've played Madden, you don't often see that recognition, that read and react to a linebacker jumping to an outside gap, not getting caught in the wash, or defensive backs that know how to adjust kind of on the fly to a route that really wasn't covered by them to deflect a pass. Those are really important things from a gameplay perspective that we want to see. But if you don't have everything else at least cohesively working, it's not going to matter because you're going to go to play online. Or even if you're playing offline, you're always going to have this arsenal of plays that you can depend on that never have you out of a game. And I understand people will say, well, house rules, don't use that play. That's not the point. You know, we can't sit here free game or pay game and create all these rules so that the developer doesn't have to make the best game possible and we just work around the final product to not exploit it. Because if that's the case, then why are you playing the game? They're not going to make the game better for you unless we talk about the problems. Talking about the problems is what I'm going to be doing a lot more of. So if you dislike it, you're probably going to keep disliking it. The Madden trailer is supposed to come out later on today. Hate to break it to you. Gonna give it the same treatment I just gave this game. If you think that's being biased, I'm sorry. But again, I'll reiterate to you. You're in a position in your life right now where you're watching this video and you're dreading the job that you go to. Get something else lined up. Start to do something on the side. Put yourself in a position where you can be positive from a mental and physical standpoint about yourself. Trust and depend on yourself. And as soon as you know that you've got something in place, turn the key, make the commitment, trust in yourself, believe in yourself, and do what's right by you. Let me be your bad example. Let me be your horrible football breakdown, okay? That stayed with it for way too long. Way too long. Sacrificed a lot of my life, years of my life, in a place I didn't want to be because I was scared to leave, and I never should have been. Appreciate all the support you guys have given me over the years. Want to, again, thank each and every one of you made it this far in the video. You know, probably more frequently than ever, I will be back in the week with more commentary.